Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Top Tier Talk. Chavez, we are starting with you, but I'm going to get my word in first. I've been banging on about it for years. João Pedro getting an injury time winner against Man United. It made me smile. Take it away, Chavez.
Thanks.
Poor guy.
We'll start with João Pedro then. I actually think he played really well, aside from whatever happened with the goal, and I think he got an assist as well, didn't he? Or was it a pass before the assist?
Pass to it, he
He
put the
was,
ball in.
yeah, he was really good in that game throughout, and he gets involved more than just scoring goals. So I've put him in my FPL after that, and I don't often do that. I usually get annoyed at players that play United. But yes, the game itself, there's been a massive overreaction, but what you expect from United fans. I thought we looked better than last season. I still think we do. I know the stat about us creating the most XG in the league can come down to the two sort of easy chances we've had in the last two games. We've had two open goals, and that kind of brings that up. But I think we've been better. I think structurally, defensively, we're better. Brighton didn't just tear us apart. This used to happen, by the way. We'd come to this stadium and just get torn apart in the first 20 minutes, and the fans would be all over us. Everyone would be all over us. It wasn't like that. It was a different game. And then by millimeters, if the Garnacho goal went in, we could have easily won that game. And yeah, that's all it came down to. I think it's a learning process. And I know people want that process to end. A lot of them still do before the season even began. So this is great ammunition for some United fans to, want Ten Hag out. But it's a long road ahead if that's what you want. Because if we were to sack a manager 3 years and now that's won us two trophies, then it's another 3 years and you're the same people that will be impatient halfway through that as well. Just
Never
trust
in a
him.
cycle.
Yeah, and even just talking about individuals, there are some negatives. Of course, we lost. Marcus Rashford is supposed to be the senior player on the team. I say this
Yeah,
every
we
week.
keep
He
saying
doesn't
it. Yeah.
doesn't behave like it. He makes incorrect decisions on the pitch. Ahmad, I don't know why Ahmad played. I know he scored. He was quite off it in the first half, but he has extenuating circumstances. I was surprised Garnacho didn't start after the last game, and now I really hope he does start because he had the disallowed goal. And in general, I think Rashford should be dropped. The best thing for Rashford is for him to be dropped because then at least he'll understand that, like I am droppable and I need to work harder and come off
Yeah.
the bench and score against Liverpool. He's got a good record against Liverpool. He'll be even more excited to do that if he comes off the bench. Xerxes didn't start. We did the Bruno Mount thing with two pressing players, which works. We press well, and I think we're going to do it again next week. However, I don't think in a usual season, usual like primary team, we're ever going to need to do that. Bruno just doesn't play as well as a striker. Of course he doesn't. I don't think Mount's been bad. Mount gets criticism for the last two games. I think he presses well and he looks okay when he plays. He's not really in there. I know he's at number 7, so you expect him to, I don't know, set the world alight, but he's not in there for that. But I think he'll play again. I think we'll do this pressing thing again against Liverpool. It's probably the best setup to be safe. We won't start Xerxes yet. De Ligt, I hope he comes in. Maguire wasn't as good in that game. He was at full for one of the goals. Mazraoui's been faultless. Dalot is just as mature as ever. I'm really happy about him. There was a time when we played AC Milan in the Europa League a few years ago, and Dalot was on loan with AC Milan. And that game, AC Milan and United fans said, whoever loses gets Dalot. That's how much hate he used to get. And he's really matured since then. He's one of the more senior players in our team, and he's still not that old. Martinez, he needs to sort of improve as well because we know he's capable of much more. And yeah, it's just the start of the season. I mean, get over it. A lot of United fans already and really defining statements already 2 games into the season.
They always do that, don't they?
Yeah.
But the thing is, Chavez, I wanted to touch on like kind of Brighton as well. Obviously, I know it's quite unfortunate that United obviously lost that game. As you said, it's millimeters away. Unfortunately, Xerxes got in the way. But before we obviously you guys played Brighton, I remember I said to you like, are you a bit kind of scared about going to Brighton away? Because obviously we have all seen how good Brighton are. Would you say to any team going forward, obviously don't underestimate how like mid-tier kind of Brighton are because they actually could give you a run for your money.
Yeah, I mean, they can. I don't think this
They
Brighton
were in
team.
Europe last year, weren't they?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like a mid-tier team. Do you know when like some top 6 teams can think, oh, it's kind of one of them teams that you can kind of go ahead and still get 1-0, 2-0 wins, but on their day they can obviously, as you can see, turn up and then decide to absolutely give you a good game.
Well, I think
Yeah,
there's
I mean, I
almost.
don't think this is their. I think this is the worst Brighton team we've lost to since they've come back in the Prem. It's not bad. They're still a decent team, but it's a different manager. And like their midfield had Milner and Billy Gilmore. I don't think it's that level of. They used to be better players at this club, and it was more of just unfortunate on the day. And I don't think we were
Mm,
great either.
okay.
So there's still a problem, but I don't think Brighton are going to get any having watched them now, I can judge teams having watched them. That European spot, Brighton aren't going to get any Conference League spot, in my opinion, having watched them. And the same with the other team we played. We played Fulham as well. They look okay, but they're not going to get a European spot. You can sort of, when you see them, you'll know.
Yeah,
I
fair
think
enough.
just to touch on that, in what you said, obviously, I think the league is split up into a load of mini leagues. Obviously, over the last sort of 2, 3 years, you've had Arsenal and City in their own little mini league at the top. Liverpool sort of just trotting
Trying to chip
along.
in.
Yeah. And then anything below that, like Chelsea, United, and Spurs, like the other three, I've got just obviously the fixtures up here. Palace, West Ham, Fulham, Bournemouth, Newcastle. Oh, I know Wolves lost 6-2 to Chelsea, but on their day, they have, and
This is the
they've
thing.
shown that they can
Underestimating.
beat the top 6 teams. So
Underestimating kind of teams in general, I think is kind of probably every team's worst kind of enemy. I think I said this to who did I say this to? I remember I was watching the City game. I know obviously City scored 3 goals straight away after that goal against from Ipswich. But even still, that Ipswich must have kind of knocked their heads into gear and gone, actually, oh crap, we need to kind of switch on it a bit. Like the
I,
Premier League is obviously not kind of one of those teams where, for example, like you play in Div 2, for example, when you play the shitters. Do you know, like in Power League, Dan, where we'd play like a
yeah,
five-a-side, you play those like the
the bottom of
middle-aged
the
man
league, they're
team,
not having it.
yeah, and you're
But
like,
it's
oh, walk in the
almost,
park.
I think it's almost like conservative from City's behalf. They know they're going to be playing 40, 50. I think they can up to players at 61 games this season with that new layout in the UCL. I think it's something stupid like that.
It's
They know.
crazy.
No disrespect to Ipswich because they're in that bracket of Ipswich and they'll do the same to Southampton. They'll do the same to. I mean, like
I
it
kind of
just
feel bad for
happens.
Ipswich. They kind of played
But
Liverpool and then Man City straight off the bat.
but this is what I was going to say. City, even if they go 1-0 down, like it happened when we played them a couple of years ago, they went 2-0 up and was coasting. We got one back and then they just turned it on and scored 2 goals straight away. And you're like, what's the point? It's like just
Well,
prodding. It's like prodding an angry bear. You know you're going to get attacked. You just don't know
do
when. It's
you know who
like
they didn't do that to? We scored
you
one
shut up
goal and they
shop.
didn't get one back.
But do you know what I mean? Like
I know.
they
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
need to, so they go, oh, we'll go 1-0, sweet. We'll just go and score 3 goals in 190 seconds or whatever it was, and then just keep the ball for the next 80 minutes. They don't need to try. They don't
Yeah, I
get
know.
when they
I know.
come into the semis of the Carabao Cup or the semis of the FA Cup or the semis of the Champions League or the March April side in the Premier League. They can go, actually, we'll just go start playing football now because we need to get results to win trophies.
I do want to give kudos though. Obviously, I know it's completely off topic, Shabir. Sorry about this, but I do want to give a quick little shout out to their new number 26 at Man City, Savinho. I think he's one to
He's good.
watch. I think
Yeah,
he's
Mahrez
fucking spot on.
regen.
Yeah, I think he's so good. I might
He's
have to even
already
put him in
top 5 right wingers in the Prem.
Yeah, he's so good. I'm so jealous of him. I might even have to put him in my FPL soon if he continues to do what he's doing.
Just to as a final point on just to cycle back to wingers. Chavez, you said I was on the Marcus Rashford hate train years ago, and when I said he would end up at somewhere like a Palace or an Everton or a Villa, what are your thoughts on that now, with his current last 2 years of his career and how they've gone?
I mean, he's not really that level of a player, is he? I mean, even if you look at him, you can just tell he has everything that someone needs to be a world beater. He's done it when he's in form. He literally gets into the type of form where he's one of the best. The goals and assists he got after that World Cup, and every week he was doing it. So it's just so annoying for us as a fan base to go from either that to the level of just complete shit. There's no like in between. It's not even consistency. It's worse than being inconsistent. It's being consistently bad. Like even if he was mid or average, like every now and then had a good performance, that would be okay. But he just goes from one side of the spectrum to the other. It's fascinating. And I said the biggest thing he needs, to be honest, because he's got everything physically a footballer needs. It's just someone to talk to him and tell him and give him belief. And I think that comes in the form of therapy. Football therapy, it's a thing. Like there are actual sports specialists in this sector that can
Or
help him. Just discuss it.
or even an ultimatum, as you said, Chavez earlier. Just give him that kind of lowdown where it's basically you play someone else in that position instead, and give him the lowdown of it.
Yeah, that's
If
step
you don't,
one.
if
That's
you
step
don't
one.
kind of knuckle down and kind of want this position for yourself, then we'll give it to him, and you'll be sat on the bench for the rest of the season.
And look who's there, Garnacho, perfect player.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
like we don't have anyone. There was a time, I'll admit, we didn't have anyone. Players were injured left and right. Now we do. Use your options. You've got so many. Even
Absolutely.
Anthony, I know he's terrible, but you can use him as well. If someone's playing badly, we're actually in a position for once where if someone's playing badly, Ahmad has a bad game, you bring Anthony on, give him a chance. If you want to be in the
Absolutely.
team next week, Anthony, come on and score a goal. Like, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
But we're not really utilising that. We need to utilise it more. Sub him off in the 45th minute if they're playing
Agreed.
shit. We'll see.
yeah,
We'll see. It's
I
Liverpool
like that.
next. I mean, I'll quickly talk about the next game as well, Dan, before you go into it.
Yeah.
Because we're up against the team that's conceded less than 1 XG in the league. They've been absolutely outstanding for the first two games.
That's why I said it's Liverpool second in the league.
Yeah, their opponents, they're not that great, but time will tell how good Brentford are. Ipswich are obviously just a wild card in this league. But Trent, they've adjusted. This manager's come in and completely adjusted Trent's role. Trent now hugs the touchline, isn't required to play extraordinary passes. He just plays his game on the right and causes havoc, which is what Trent should have done from the start. So they might be getting the best out of one of the best right backs in the world. And the moment you start doing that, you're in trouble while keeping that defensive base. So Liverpool are in a position where they've got Jota, who's always on form. Salah's still Salah. I was hoping Salah might not be Salah this year, and age might get to him, but clearly not. He's still going for it. And then they've got other options as well. So I'm really worried, like we need a win now. This happened, if you guys remember, in Ten Hag's first season. We had 2 Premier League games where we lost 2-1 to Brighton, 2-1 to Brighton this time, and 4-0 to Bournemouth. And that third game really brought everyone back when Sancho scored the win against Liverpool. This is our third game, and we really do need to win. And this time around, I'm a bit worried because Liverpool, it wouldn't even be bad if we lost. Liverpool are that good. They seem like they're better than us this season. But it would be a big, big plus if we could somehow pull it off. We need to get through that defense, though, somehow. And Bruno, it's going to be annoying because Bruno needs to play his creative position, but he's not going to because Mount's going to play to allow the extra press to give us more control. What does Ten Hag do? I don't know. We'll see.
Shut up shop, go for a 0-0.
Just quickly before we move on, Chavez, where is Sancho?
Right now he's in Manchester, but in the next few days he could be anywhere. He's linked to Juventus. What I'll say with Sancho is what the indication is that we want to sell him this is Man United's transfer policy this year, by the way. They've just done it right now with Medjugorje, who's going to Burnley. Any player we will give you on loan if there is an obligation to buy. If we're going to get money at the end of it guaranteed, then we will give them to you. So Medjugorje's going to Burnley. Sancho, that's the hope with him. McTominay, for example, is a guaranteed money sale. We need money. We're not doing stupid business right now. We're just giving players on loan while paying their entire wages. What's the point? So we're being a bit smarter, and hopefully someone can whip out some money for Sancho. I don't believe the Chelsea links. I don't see what Sancho will do at Chelsea aside from enjoy his time with Madueke. There's 2 great personalities. They'll be best friends. But I don't see that. I don't see this Chilwell link. I hope to God we don't get Chilwell or anyone else from Chelsea. We don't want to do business with them. Hopefully he goes to someone like, but for example, McTominay. I should probably speak on him. Thank you for your service at the club. For someone who had the ability that he did, he achieved so much that someone with the same ability wouldn't have. And the reason is, it's a testament to his mentality. You won't find many players with a better mentality than Scott McTominay. And he gave everything he could in the time he was here. And now he's gone to, the league winners? Or Napoli, to be fair, they weren't league winners, but
They're up there.
Yeah, they had a bad season, but hopefully they can come back. And it's a good club for him to go to, a new test for him. I wish he would have gone to Atletico instead of Gallagher. I think Simeone would have loved him, but it is what it is. Best of luck to him. Thank you for everything.
Moving on to, I suppose, Arsenal now. Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 2.
Yes, absolutely.
Reverse scoreline in the reverse fixture from the game that ruined your season last year.
Yes, exactly, absolutely. Oh, damn. Serotonin was flowing through my veins throughout that last 10 minutes of the game. To be fair, for the first half, I think I have to say, I guess it was partly due to both teams, because obviously we were trying to play as best we could, but then Villa were playing such a deep line that we couldn't actually break them down properly in the first half. And if you guys watched it, it was kind of like left to right to left, forward, play back to party, played this way.
It was clever.
Just consistently.
It was clever, is what it was.
That's what I'm saying. It's clever, but there was nothing going on. It was kind of just like a ball fest. No disrespect to any of the players, but unfortunately, you can't crack Villa's line as good as they are. They are a good team. They're in the Champions League, for God's sake. So the fact that we managed to squeeze one in with Trossard, by the way, in my opinion, starts left wing next game against Brighton. No doubt, no question. I think he deserves that place. He came on and 5 minutes later he scored like an integral goal. Because as soon as Trossard scored that goal, I think the game changed completely. Because now Villa obviously realised they can't play that high line anymore. So then we can obviously go ahead and play our normal football against them because we can still get another. And we did. We snatched another. Thomas Partey, great goal. And to be fair, I want to give a shout out to this player as well because I think he had Partey and a little bit of rice on toast. Morgan Rogers, I think he had an absolutely outstanding game against us. I think he'll go on to do good things for Villa this season, and he might even be sold to a bigger team. But I mean, if that's possible, if Villa don't do well, for example, because he's a very good player. He was pressing very well. He's like a strong force. He doesn't get beaten off the ball. So that's a shout out to him. I think he had a great game against us. But as I say,
you're forgetting
very
one
good
man,
win for
Elliot.
us. What?
your goalkeeper kept you. David Raya kept you in that game.
Relax,
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting into.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's a lot more to this
yeah.
game than just.
Yeah,
you were
relax, I'm
thanking
getting into it.
players,
I was about
so-
to say, very good game. I was about to say, and when I saw that save with Raya, and that's why he's in my fantasy. This is why he's going to win Golden Glove again this season. Like he's, he is so good. I mean, like when you see that sort of save, he obviously went for the saver and hit the bar, and then he got up straight away. Watkins didn't really position it well, but then still a fantastic save, parried it away from danger. That's what you want from your keeper. He had an absolute outstanding game. I think he saved us, in my opinion. There's a couple of chances where Villa had it 1-on-1. Even the Bailey shot from the right hand side when he tried to chip it round, great save. Like stuff like that is very like as minute as it may seem like early doors, as you said, Chavez, early in the season, it matters because as you say, when we get towards the end of the season and we see, oh, we beat Villa away, by the way, at 2-0, like that's a great win. And then even Saliba's tackle, anyone see it as well? He was an absolute rock that game. Even there was a time as well where someone put it on Twitter, it was that good, where Saliba completely saw the pass that I think McGinn was trying to make, ran towards it, cut it out completely, and just ran, and it completely ruined their attack. Saliba, absolute 10 out of 10 performance from him. But the thing is what we need to question is that's obviously everyone else had a good game. Odegaard had a good game. Saka had a good. Everyone had a good game in my opinion. But the one person who needs to really kind of lock in, I said this last week, Martinelli. He needs to do something because as I said, Trossard, in my opinion, starts left wing against Brighton, against his former club, because as you can see, he's maybe even sending that message. Dare I say, because obviously he's not cracking a smile when he's celebrating. Maybe that's just part of his celebration style. Who knows? But like. He's probably a little bit pissed off that Martinelli's playing left wing
Well, he
because
did
he's
it
not really
last
offering
season
much.
as well, didn't he? He came in and played the last 25 minutes of every game and still
And
scored
scored.
twice about the goals that Martinelli did.
This
And
is
now
what I'm
this
saying
season
is
starts and he's like, back on the bench.
He's like Jota. Him and Jota just back. Like
like the
they just
thing
get
is
goals.
with him is like, what do you do about Martinelli now? Because as you said, like he's trying his best, but nothing's working for him. It's like
Sell him.
because as you can see, he's the no, we're not doing that. He's like probably the fastest fastest player in that Arsenal team, and he's not being allowed to use it. Do you know what I mean? He kind of runs a little bit, but then plays it back to who was it, Timber this time or Calafiori?
Do you think
Calafiori, by the
that's
way, had a fantastic kind of cameo.
I was going to say, do you think this is just almost like Rashford doing a similar thing as well? Like Chavez, you've complained about it in the past, like confidence thing. Like they don't take players on, they don't run at players. They'll take a couple of touches, get 25 yards out, like towards the edge of the box, and they'll go, "Oh, there's someone in front of me. I'll turn around and pass it back."
It's
To
a
you."
lack of belief.
Yeah, as you said,
This
it's
is what I'm
like
saying. There needs to be that kind of risk and reward factor. There needs to be that kind of payoff where he says, just go for it, run at them. Because at the end of the day, let's say one out of three works, and then that third time it does work, you could play a fantastic ball into the box, and you get a goal. Like it doesn't have to always work.
I was going to say, it's not like a team. Obviously, as I said, we touched on Rashford. So he tries it for United or Martinelli or whoever tries it for Arsenal. It's not like you're going to have Ipswich at the weekend, for example. They had one chance and took it. Like teams like
This is what
you,
this
you
it's
lot
like.
aren't going
It's
to
like
have to
someone's
do
giving them
that.
command.
You aren't going to have to do that. If Trossard or Martinelli or whoever's going to get a chance to do that in the game 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, because you're going to have that amount of the ball. It's not as I
This is
said.
what I'm
Ipswich
saying.
had
Is
one
he
chance. You've
needs to
got to
kind of
score it,
have
sort of
that.
thing.
He needs to
Someone
kind
needs
of
to
have
say it
that.
to them.
Yeah, just say.
Someone needs
This
to
is what I'm
like
saying.
drill it in their brain.
Yeah, just go for it. Just run at them because, like, at the end of the day, we've just said it. 1 out of 3, the third time it could work, and then that's it. Like, it could be a goal scoring opportunity. But as I say, like, moving on from the Villa game, I'm extremely happy that we won against Villa. As
Can I
you
ask
say, it's a
one
boogie
question
boogie team.
about the Villa game? So you
Push
made
it.
one change. You put Zinchenko. Well, I don't know if you made one change, but you took Zinchenko out and you put Timber in. What was Tim? Was that Timber's first start in the Prem?
First start since 2023.
Yeah. So how was he? And is he going to start the next game in your opinion?
Yes, he
There's
is.
an
I
FPL
think he had a good
bias.
game.
Yeah,
He
I'm
was.
trying to get my
FPL
FPL.
bias.
He was fantastic for us. I think it's going to be a very kind of funny competition at that left back position because even Calafiori, when he came on, played fantastic as well. An absolute rock.
Left back.
But, yeah, he came on.
Also, does Zinchenko not like participate at all?
No.
So what?
So
Calafiori is considered a left back as well.
Well, no, but is Ben White a right back? But then he was a centre back. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
You've got 4 centre backs playing in your defence, is what you've done.
Yeah, exactly.
Or rotating. Yeah.
The thing is with Timber though, he actually played that left back position beautifully. Like, thing is with him is he actually made that opportunity for Martinelli even better to the point where he kind of did the dirty work at the back to kind of muscle off like Bailey and like Morgan Rogers to the point where he gave it to Martinelli. So much open space. Martinelli would do that run where he kind of just runs to like the 18-yard box and then capitulates. He just goes, "What do I do now? Do I shoot? Do I pass?" And then he mucks up the pass. Do you know what I mean? Like he just kind of needs to have that critical thinking of Now just do it, finalize it. Do you know what I mean? Don't listen to outside voices of pass, or do this. Do what you know. Do you know what I mean?
And that's what makes, as you said, Martinelli, whether he's a good player, a great player, that's what makes you look at players like the different class players, like top class players in the league. Salah will do that without a doubt.
It's critical
He
thinking.
doesn't
You
need
need
to
to
make
have
a
the
decision
confidence
because the
of knowing
decision's been
what's
made
next.
when he's
Yeah,
running 5 yards away from goal. He knows exactly
agreed.
what he's going to do. As you said, with
Absolutely.
Martinelli, he'll freeze. It's like
That's what I'm saying. He
nothing.
kind of gets to the 18-yard box and he goes, "Do I go to the left and try and chip it in, or do I try and sorry,
I'll
do I
take over.
try and
I was
do
going
I
to say,
try
like,
and
it's almost like it's been trained, like almost like Pep plays football, keep the ball, be sensible, almost like he done with Grealish in a way. It's like obviously it's
yeah, but I
filtered
get
down to
it. I
Arteta.
get the whole
Arteta,
keep the
oh
ball.
yeah, 100%. And it's sort of almost filtered down to Arteta, who's filtered it down to Martinelli. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I get it. I get it. That's what I'm saying. If it's a command from above, I get it. But sometimes when you have, as I say, the fastest player in the team on the left-hand side, there needs to be an opportunity for him to just say, "Listen, fucking run at him. Just
Yeah.
go." Do you know what I mean? Because then they'll be like, "Oh crap! Like he's not standing back and playing it back this time. Oh crap! Like he's not used. They're not going to be used to it. The
Put him under
defenders this
pressure.
time
So
because they'll be like, oh, is he going to go back? Is he going to run at him? Is he going to do this that? There needs to be that kind of confidence to basically kind of ignore the manager's request once or twice to go and do what you want to do. But that's
yeah, it is.
that's
Yeah,
my
it's
opinion.
going to be what
But
20
then obviously
seconds
moving on
belt
to
in a 90-minute game that you're ignoring the manager.
that's what I'm saying. You need to have that kind of oomph about yourself to kind of do what you want to do, not what the manager wants
Yeah.
to do, in order to kind of enjoy your own football. But moving on to the Brighton game, obviously Chavez, as you said, like Brighton didn't really play that good football against you. Like you lot were unlucky.
You'll win.
And obviously we've
You'll
got them
keep
at
a clean
home.
sheet.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying is I'm not underestimating them though. I'm not going to be that. I'm hoping that like we don't do that as well though. I know obviously said we could beat them or we will beat them, or for example, but we still can't walk into it thinking yeah we are going to win because then that will ruin us.
Hmm.
They have a good midfield like that. What was his name? Enciso, he's come back.
He didn't even stop. He was on the
No, he
bench,
didn't
but he
play.
came on.
He came on though. He had a good little cameo. They're a good team, but I think we need to expose Lewis Dunk for what he is.
Poor bloke.
Bored.
It's going to be an absolute like a complete tussle between him and Havertz in the box, isn't it? Like,
Havertz is going to win. He's a fraud, Lewis Dunk.
two lanky men from trying to get into Saka's crosses.
I look forward to it though.
You know, like what I would say, this is a big week for João Pedro. So he's got this goal, right? And now he's going to be up against probably the best two centre backs in the league, maybe. And if he can come out of that and score a goal and just look good, then he's elevated himself to a high level.
Absolutely.
Then I think he's on his way to being a top 5 Premier League striker. He's good, but I don't know if he can do it. We'll see. Time will tell next week how good he actually performs because we're a different product to Arsenal.
Different breed.
Should we talk about the main talking point, Chelsea, this week?
Yeah, 6-2.
Well, I said my main talking point is probably Madueke, really, isn't it? Just slated the whole entire place and then just dunked on him with a hat trick literally 12 hours later, and then just left. Laughed in his post-match interview and left. Like, poor Wolverhampton.
I know.
Did we judge Chelsea too early?
Well,
did we judge it?
No, that was one game. Like but
they didn't play well down. That's the thing. They actually had like a system.
Well, Wolves were terrible at defending. If you watch that game, they were for that like kind of cameo for Madueke's goal. Their defending was shocking. I don't know what happened to them. They just went downhill for like 10 minutes and went, oh yeah, we're playing football. Forgot.
Every team has a good. I'm not saying this because of Chelsea. I'm not saying it because Amir's not here or anything like that. But every team, every top 6 side you'll look at, like even Spurs last year. Was it last year or the year before? They were like top of the league in like October, November, or like joint.
That's right.
And then they didn't even finish in the UCL. They finished like 5th, didn't they, or 6th? No, I'm not saying Chelsea are doing the same thing. They've got enough players.
Yeah,
to fill two different teams.
That was that saga because obviously Spurs didn't want their team to win, so then they didn't get Champions League football.
Yeah, it was last season. Yeah,
shameless club.
And at that point, October, November, you're a third of the way through the season. You're sitting pretty at the top of the league, and then you're relying on. It's like, do we let our rivals win the league, or do we want European football? It's like the lesser of two evils almost. But yeah, it's Chelsea could well do that. It's one game across 36 games left because you're only 2 games in the Premier League. So it's a long season ahead.
Well, to be fair, you say 36 games left, but Chavez said it right. Or did you say it, Dan? About 61 games in total because you got FA Cup, UCL, Carabao Cup.
Yeah, but in terms of obviously Prem finishes and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean,
I-
I think the Carabao Cup for top 6 teams, we should just be playing our Hale End boys, or Chavez, you should be playing your academy boys
Terrible
instead
shout.
as well.
No, but
Terrible shout.
El, shouldn't
Terrible shout.
shouldn't you? Yeah, El. Of all teams, I think you need a trophy more than most. You don't want Arteta to fall because you know what? There's no shame in falling short to Man City, but there is shame in not having a trophy after this long. He needs to win another one now. He needs to get
Yeah,
another.
but the
Like,
Carabao
imagine-
Cup, what? So you're
imagine-
saying
Next round, Arsenal get drawn out at home at the Emirates against Plymouth because they're playing us tomorrow. So if they beat, and you get Plymouth, a low end Wayne Rooney managed Championship side, and Arsenal get knocked out at the Emirates to Plymouth because you played a load of youth players. How
It's
are the
not good enough.
fans?
Yeah.
How are the fans going to react to that?
I'm not saying play the whole team 11 of youth players, but I'm saying mix and match because obviously, as you said, Dan, 61 games throughout an entire season is going to be absolutely knackering for the full 11 to be playing.
Oh, but in terms of your
because they still got
academy,
international duty as well. They've still got to go out and do everything for them as well. So they're going to be completely like downhill from there if they.
Oh, no,
Don't
but
want you
they're
have
playing
a weaker?
academy.
You're gonna have a weaker squad though, because
That's what I said. But play some
goes
academy
to
boys.
Palace.
What I'm saying is
Nketiah
play
goes
like
to-
your Fabio Vieiras and
Well, Vieira's-
obviously now and Kate
saw,
has gone for 30 mil. Can you believe that?
Yeah, so
Is
why are you not getting another striker? Why are you becoming weaker up front? I don't get that. You have to get a striker.
Shall I tell you why? Shall I tell you why? The best answer, because we are Arsenal. We do what we fucking well please. We are unstoppable. It doesn't matter. Havertz ain't getting injured, all right? Touch wood.
Famous last words.
It's naive. It's naive.
Yeah,
Chavez?
that's a good answer.
Chavez? What's your
It's the most shameless answer, but that's the only answer I have.
What are your thoughts on playing youth in the Carabao Cup? I mean, you won it. Was it 2 years ago?
No, Dan, we need to carry on winning trophies. The
Yeah.
thing is, Ten Hag's got a very good record.
Do you understand my point, though?
I get what you're saying
No,
slightly, but I don't think it has to be
some
youth.
of the yeah. No,
I
he
think
means like he doesn't mean youth. He means second
rotate.
team
Just-
basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
If
you
you
do
go with that,
rotate,
then yeah.
Yeah, but as long as they win it, I think Arsenal need to win it. Like you need to win something this year. You can't
Chavez,
come out of it
we're
with
winning,
0
we're winning a quadruple, mate. It's fine.
You have to
Can't just
start.
rely and go for the Premier League and then because the impatience grows quickly. You'll be surprised if this sort
No,
of
I
shit
know.
happens
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
The fans won't be as like nice about Arteta not winning 0 trophies this year, just so you know. So I mean, there's one league gunner right now. You'll have a million more of them.
So I mean, can I
Yeah.
can I have my Watford chat for a quick
Go
second?
for it, brother. 2-1 Derby, wasn't it?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
went
title race is still on.
1-0 down into the first 90 seconds, which is a brilliant start. But fair play to the fans. The atmosphere didn't change. Obviously, I know we conceded early on, but if that was last season, people would have started leaving like 2 minutes in if we would have gone 1-0 down. But they didn't. The fans
Really?
got behind the team. It was last season. It was terrible. But now, fans stayed. Bayo's, it's like it's
Good
like
goal.
yeah, it was a brilliant goal. He scored a scissor kick. He's also missed a header from like 5 yards out and missed a chance from like 3 yards out. Like he's had a complete
One
mixed
into the
match.
spectrum to the other.
Yeah, like he's as Chavez said earlier, complete defensive respect. He's had a Rashford game. He's had a blinder in the first half and then had a stinker in the second. And also, what are we? 3 games into the season now, and Luton Town are still without a win. That's going to bite me on the arse. That's going to bite me on the arse.
You've done it now, Dan. They're going to come champions.
Back to back
Yeah,
relegation.
we've got them in like less than a month. So, or no, it's 2 months. It's October. We've got them. So, counting down
Dan,
the
I
days.
know. I'm gonna keep saying this every week now for the rest of and it's the time until you lose a game. Daniel,
No, we're
are
not.
Watford going to win the championship?
I'm sticking with my guns.
What?
I said 17th at the start of the season. I mean, I'm not saying this.
17?
Our squad is
What?
horrendous. I know we've won 3 on the bounce,
17.
You're 3 out of 3.
and
Surely that's got to be
You
giving
might
a
have
bit
enough
of delusion
points.
and hope.
You might have enough points to get more than that now.
Yeah.
but yeah, but this is the thing. Like Burnley have been torn apart. Leeds are literally falling apart. It's like it's literally a case of it's like no one's like a clear got an obvious like Burnley when they played Luton and beat them 4-1 in the first game of the season. They looked ridiculously good. They're bringing players off and they brought Weghorst on. You're like, it's a championship fixture. You're bringing on like a World Cup finalist who's still a decent.
Chavez misses Weghorst.
Obviously, I know Chavez has got some PTSD, but he had his moments. Like you can see, there's a player.
No,
there
he's a
who's
good
at his
player.
job.
He's a good
And they're
player,
bringing him off the bench, and you're like, "What?" Odobert that's just gone to Spurs. He was in their lineup. Like you're just like, Oscar Burge was there as well. He's now gone. Like
Bitch.
3 or 4 players. Like just list off the top of my head, and you're like, but they've all gone now. So it's like, what are Burnley going to do? But
Mm.
in terms, I mean, I also just did also slag off Plymouth about 5 minutes ago, going, "Oh, they're a Wayne Rooney managed Plymouth, which is going to bite me on the arse again tomorrow when they inevitably knock us out of the Carabao Cup because we stink in that competition as well." So,
Dan,
and it's a pointless game. Neither of us are going to
Dan.
win the trophy. Just put it straight to pens. It'd be more entertaining.
Dan, Plymouth Argyle tomorrow. Thumbs
That's-
up,
that's
thumbs down.
sweet.
1-1 lose
That's
on
what you
pens.
said.
1-1 lose on pens.
Jesus Christ.
Ever the optimist.
There's
Yeah, I
no way
know.
Rooney's just
That's
getting
here's
positive.
the thing. Watford are going to be like 100-point team this season, and they'll like be in first place with like 2 games left, and they'll be completely clear. And I'll be like, "Dan, you win the league?" Or no.
But we lost the league after being 3 points ahead on the last game of the season in the 96th minute from a set piece. This club will never fail to amaze me. But
Dan, this season, sunshine, this is what's going to happen. Watford's going to win the championship, and Arsenal's going to win the Prem. We're both going to be happy.
Chavez, what are you winning this year?
What are we winning? The Europa League. It's
you
time for a new
you
trophy.
throw the Champions League in there as well, then, Elliot?
I'll win the Champions League as well. Yes,
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
No worries.
We've
Chelsea,
got nothing
me
left.
and Chelsea can win the FA Cup, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm glad Amir's not here for this episode because next week, hopefully, Palace can do something. Well, although they probably won't, and then he'll
Well,
be
is it
sad.
Palace away they're doing it? Is it at Selhurst Park?
Home.
That's
Okay.
my outrageous shout out the window. I know it's a Palace fourth. They did look good under Glasner last year. They haven't
Oh,
won
you've
a
lost
game.
Palace fourth.
They
Yeah,
haven't
it's
won a
terrible.
game. They haven't won
Dan,
a
they
game.
look-
I remember that.
And their players are leaving. Like,
Yeah.
didn't
Is it?
someone packing, man?
Anderson's
Anderson
left as
left.
well.
Yeah.
And
That was
Guazi's
so
going
weird.
as well. And they've
Oh,
just
Dan.
they've just
Dan
waited to make a
cursed them.
prediction.
As soon as Dan said fourth, they were like,
Yeah, they could actually be like relegated if they
And
carry
I
this
took that
on, 'cause-
personally. That's what Palace have done.
yeah, they watched Top Tier Talk Stan's video, and they're like,
No, I don't fancy that. I think that brings us to the
Sure.
end of the episode. Obviously, we've
Do you
touched
want to
on...
predict the United game specifically, and then we'll because it's a big game next week.
Okay.
No 0-0s, Dan. You start. No 0-0 predictions allowed.
Oh, okay. 5-1 Liverpool.
2-1 United.
That's happened before. 5-0 happened at Old Trafford. No, I think this time around, I think Liverpool actually not score. De Ligt will start. We'll have the ultimate back four. Casemiro.
Liverpool.
They call him Ozempic Piro because he's lost so much weight. 1-0. 1-0.
To
I reckon
Liverpool,
it'll
yeah?
be 2-1.
To Liverpool, yeah?
Nah, tough.
Garnacho banger in the 90th minute.
1-0 Rashford off the bench.
Right, Chavez, now
He
wake
won't
up and make an
even
actual
go on the bench.
prediction. Wake up from your dreams.
Hmm?
Actual prediction. Stop dreaming.
Nah,
Chavez.
1-0. Dan, if I was actually predicting a dream,
Oh no,
like,
I meant
that'd be
the
6-0.
I meant the Rashford goal was more the part of
Oh,
it.
okay. Rashford's not even on the bench for starters. It would be nice if Thingy scored Bruno finally because a penalty, Bruno penalty. That'd be
Or
great.
just to rub it in.
Yeah.
I think that brings us. Yeah, it does bring us to the end. Obviously, we spoke about Chelsea, City, and all of our clubs.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week when I believe we are back as a 4, so we can laugh at Amir for last week's game.